Hi, Greg, Soul Searching Gaijin. It's me. Today's going to be a little bit different, as you can see. I want to do a quick little talk about distraction and working through adversity. Um, so, as you can see, or maybe we'll show you a little bit. This is my apartment building at the moment. Everything's all taped up. They're doing work on my building. They have been for a month. They're painting, they're repointing, they're drilling, it's crazy. There's scaffolding around my entire building, and there's this black mesh around the scaffolding which blocks out all the sun, and today it's raining. And I've been having a very tricky time getting work done because right out front of where my equipment sits, within about 2 feet of my equipment is a sliding glass door which leads to my porch, which also looks like this. And often by around 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning, there's multiple workers outside drilling, painting, just mayhem. And I'm sitting at my equipment trying to do music, and I look up and they're right there, and I'm like, hey, hi, Ohio gozaimasu, good morning. It's quite embarrassing and incredibly distracting. Very hard to get anything done. And that's been the past month for me, and it's going to go on for about another month. And I have a couple shows coming up that I've been working on. One's a ambient show, and I think the second one I'm going to kind of recycle some of that material because it comes a couple weeks after the first one. And I'm really excited about it. I have the music all prepared, but this show is going to be the first one where it's a real, like, full-on ambient show where I do mostly rely on improv, and I don't have any melodies memorized or anything like that, and I'm really just, it's an exercise in trust, a big exercise in trust. And although the past year of me doing stuff on YouTube, huge part of what I do is improvise. I do improvise a lot of my arrangements and kind of rely on getting in the flow, but most of that material is a little bit more structured. I do have some set patterns, and I have kind of an idea of how I'm going to progress through things. And what I'm doing for this show is more creating environments and just kind of flowing through them, relying on catching a flow to get through them. So here I find myself the past month trying to prepare for this show and finding it incredibly hard to catch a flow because of all the noise. I mean, I can't even tell you. I'm literally doing this video first thing in the morning before the workers even start, because I really haven't been able to do much in my studio during the daytime. And in the evenings, my wife's home, and I really want to try to spend some time with her. And I also find that a little bit distracting. I definitely don't do videos when she's around because I live in a very small studio apartment. And right now, everything that was on my porch, all my plants, they're all inside. And it's a little crowded in there. And it's definitely hasn't been the most optimal space, conducive space to be created. And today's raining also. So it's kind of like, I thought it was why not, good. It brings up some issues, which is just kind of working through the pain of distraction, perfectionism, frustration, and how do you keep going? Well, what do you do when all that comes up? Sometimes I think it's just important just to kind of work through it. I mean, if everything was easy, you wouldn't really learn those lessons of having to persevere and struggle to push through. And I think sometimes, it's great when it's all beautiful and sunny and things are great. Maybe you got a new piece of equipment, you're all excited. But how do we continue to find the joy on the days when you have to really kind of dig down and reach for it? And a lot of that, I think, is just kind of getting started. And also, if you're working through perfectionism, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I really think that that's kind of, in a lot of ways, the past few months held me back, because a few months back I spent a little bit of time, a couple months, trying to really elevate my writing skills, to learn a little bit more in theory, and to just try to take what I was doing to another level. And that was great, and I feel like I was pretty successful. But the problem came when it was time for the next video. I was like, oh, okay, now I feel like I need to top the thing that I did last time, or else I'm just going backwards. And I found that incredibly toxic and counterproductive. I do think it is important to be discerning and hold yourself to a standard, but at the same time, it's okay and natural and necessary to be able to explore and to be okay with where you are when you're there. I found a lot of that kind of came up as I was doing improvising for this show. Every time I play through the set daily, even through the distractions, and it's a long set, it's 45 minutes, so 45 minutes of improvising melodies and subtle arrangements, but mainly, like I said, most of what I'm doing in this show is environments. So I have like really nice sound beds, and I just do a lot of playing over top and some asymmetrical looping in there and playing with a little bit of effects, but there's a lot of space and it relies solely on being in the flow. So I find when I really am hypercritical of what I'm doing, it is super counterproductive to that. I just really have to kind of surrender to the circumstances, just like this. There's nothing I can do about it. Today's not a bad day. I'm chilling. I feel good. I got a good night's sleep. I'm waking up. I may not look like I'm not awake. Just got out of bed. Just made myself a cup of coffee and trying to take advantage of the quiet right now. But I think you really have to just kind of learn to go with the flow and to not judge yourself so much. To just try your best to enjoy the process, even when it's a little painful. And sometimes it's just the small things, maybe like on any given day. Some days I play through the set great. I love what I'm doing, but it does change every day. And there are some days that I just kind of fall flat on my face, and I find that those days are the ones that I'm more concerned about the outcome or what people are going to think, as opposed to just enjoying what I'm doing. And I think really that's what I'm trying to get across in this show. And one of the reasons I kind of enjoy ambient music is because you don't really know what's going to come out. And it's really, for me, ambient is more about just conveying a feeling and a mood. And so just allowing yourself to explore that. And some days it may be a little more chaotic, some days it may be beautiful and peaceful. It's really just kind of honoring what you're feeling and trusting enough to let go, rely on the skills that you built over time, and just allow whatever comes to come and not be judgmental of it. It's just going through the process of actually doing it is what's, I think, cathartic, and getting through it. Because in life, not every day is beautiful and sunny, and not everything is peaceful and harmonious. And sometimes, a lot of the time, you need to get through the hard times to really appreciate and enjoy the good times. And to try to get through them gracefully. So as opposed to me just kind of bitching about my situation with this apartment at the moment, which I've been doing a lot of the past month, I'm just trying to embrace it a little bit more. And what's coming out often is a little bit edgier and not as harmonious as I'm trying to produce, but at the same time, it is what I'm feeling and it's sincere, and I'm just kind of like surrendering to exploring it. And in a way, that's just kind of adding another color to my palette. And in the end, when I do this show, have a performance, it'll be what I'm feeling that night. And as long as I can be sincere and just put down that inner critic and just allow myself to go there, I think that's all I can really ask for, and I'll be happy with that. You know, I think yeah, it's about relinquishing control and really flowing with life. Trying not to get in your own way, trying not to overly criticize, and just be thankful and grateful for what's in your life and what's happening, and appreciating the moment. So, I don't know if you got anything out of this. I hope you did, and I'm gonna try to put some crazy visuals in there. No, I don't know. We'll see. Just something to keep it a little more interesting. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. So hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be back to doing a little bit more music, posting a little bit more, being a little more productive, and not spending so much time working on the mental aspect of all of this, which is really what this past month for sure, but actually the past few months has been about for me. Just working through mental blocks, things that kind of hold you back. And they're important. I mean, they come up, you have to deal with them, and you have to find your way. And I think the biggest thing is just not to give up and just keep moving, keep going, and enjoy what comes out. Enjoy the rainy days. There you go. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye.